my god, I did not set up this. Oh, I did? I did, but I forgot because it froze on my computer. No. I'm not even on that computer.
Will the virtuous Sangha, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize union birth. Cùng thính ta đức sanh thị, quay thứ pháp hội gặp nhật thiết chúng sanh. Tình chiếm diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư lý khổ đau. là tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo Saranto Suchedo Ye Alahudi San Miao Samputo Xie.
Namo Saranto Suchedo Ye Alahudi San Miao Samputo Xie.
Namo Tadakta Toya Daya Alahadi Tamyu Dambo Datoa.
Namo Tadakta Ayataya Alahadi San Miao Samputo.
The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jing jian wen de shou chi yan jie lu lai zhen shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable Shenhua, Venerable Lafeng people, and all good no advisors, Amitofo.
Amitofo.
诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位上知识，阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。Chư
Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa lục tổ, hòa thượng Kiên Hóa, quý thầy cô, cả quý vị và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật.
Amitofo.
Today is the 28th. Of March 2021. We are here at the Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the last chapter of the Sixth Patriarch Sutra, Chapter 10, his final instructions. Thank you all for joining us. Okay, so current slide in number 24. Before I forget, the baby there, baby girl there, if the mother can get a small 1-year statue for her to carry here, would be good for her. Does she have a small 1-year statue? Good. Sutta text. Thus the 18 realms arise as a function of the self-nature.
如是依18界，皆从自性起用。
Okay, so the Sixth Patriarch is teaching his disciples how to speak Dharma, especially in particular when you speak Dharma, you expect people to ask you hard questions. And so he's training them on the technique on how to do this. And it's something it's not just for speaking Dharma, but actually it's the debate skills. When you talk to people that you want to persuade or go into a verbal argument, this is a way that these are the skills that you can use, anyone can use. Okay. In particular, it's particularly effective for speakers of the Dharma. Commentary slide 25. Thus the 18 realms arise as a function of self-nature. Okay, so the 18 realms is meaning that the whole world wax, everything. Okay. 18 realms meaning that you have the 6 sense organs inside of you. Outside there is the 6 dust, meaning you have the eye sees the form, the ears hear the sound. So the ears is a one sense organ. Hearing the sound is a dust. The 6 dust, okay, that corresponds to 6 sense organs. Sight, eye see sights, ear hear sounds, tongue tastes flavors. Like today, how do you like the noodle today? It's very strong. No? Okay. It's very good. And so you see, you have these 12, and in between, you have the consciousness that connects the two, that enables us to gather information Okay, so that's how we experience the external world.
我们就是这样子呢，就是感受到外界的。
No one is above that. We all go through that unless you are an AI robot.
除非呢，你是一
All
个
right,
机器
and
人。
he says the 18 realms, what we experience, arise as a function of the self nature. So these
皆从自性起用。
these experiences that we go through, okay,
我们经历的这些
originate from the self nature,
是从
from
自
your
性起
Buddha
来
nature,
的，你的
from
佛
our
性起
Buddha
来的，
nature.
我们的佛性起来
Okay,
的。
and it's a function of Buddha nature. Okay, so now you have the concept of this Buddha nature.
作用。
Is it supposed to be just a Buddha nature?
那么
The
佛
Buddha
性
nature
只是
is
佛
supposed to
性
do
吗？
something.
佛性应
Cannot
当
just
要
be
做什
I'm
么？
the Buddha nature.
不能只
I'm
是说我
retired.
是佛性，我要退休了。
Even if you retire as a
即使
Buddha
你退
nature,
休，
you
即使
still are
佛
doing
性退
something, aren't
休
you?，
你也在做
You
什
see?
么，不是吗？
So the self nature is doing
所以你
something.
的自信啊，
That's what
在
we
做一
call
些什么？
function. Okay?
所以呢，他做的这个呢
doing
叫做作
something.
用
Okay?
他在
It's
做一
applying
些什么？
himself to do something.
他令
Like
自己
you
呢
go to
在
work.
做一些什么？
Yes?
好像说呢，
We
你去
beg.
工作，
So we both are doing something.
我们呢
Right?
在
So
祈求，
that's the
我们
function
都在
of
做
our
什么？
self nature. So our
所
self
以我
nature
们自信的
can
这
see
个作用啊，这
through
就是我
the
们自信
18
的作
realms.
用。我们的
can
自
hear
信可以
through the 18 realms.
可以
Can
通
feel
过18
through
界
the
看，
18 realms.
可
You
以
see
通过
that?
18 界
The
听，
self
可以
nature
通过
is
18界感
connected
受。
with life.
这个是自信呢和生
So
命
far, so good.
和生命啊是联系在一起的
Next.，
明白吗？
26 Sutra text. If the self
26
nature is deviant,
经文
it gives rise to 18 deviants. If the self nature is proper, it gives rise to 18 propers.
自性若邪，起18邪；自性若正，起18正。
Okay, and then he further
然
explains
后他再继续
life.
说，
There's a difference between deviant and
那
proper.
个生活啊有
Like
正
it
邪
or，not.
不管你喜不喜欢，
You
都
can
是有
deny it
正
all
邪
you want. Something called proper,
你可以
something
否认
called deviant.
但是呢，就是有
Okay?
正邪。
He says, if the self nature is deviant, it gives rise to 18 deviants. Okay?
自信
Then it means that if the nature, the self nature, is used wrongly,
如果自信用的不对，
okay, then will give rise to 18 deviants. However, if the self nature is properly used,
但是如果自信用的对，
then we rise to the 18 propers. That's simple.
所以呢就有18正。
So you need to be careful.
所以你
If
要当心，
you apply yourself with the deviant motives, then you're creating deviancy. If you live your life and do the proper things, then you're creating a proper environment.
那你就呢
Pay attention,
照着
politicians.
正业那个政治家听好了，
This is very important.
这个
Pay
很重要
attention, parents. If you have children, you do the proper things, your children will be
你做
proper.
正确的事情，你的孩子就正，
It has consequences.
有后果的。
Okay? You cannot say, this is my life and it's okay, no one's going to know. They don't need to know. Deviant is deviant, no one else needs to know.
邪就是
Okay?
邪，没有别
The
人
self
需要
nature
知道
knows.
但是
All
你
right?
的自
Next,
信还是不知
28.
道
Sutta text.
下个40
Evil functioning is that of a living being, while good functioning is that of a Buddha. What is a functioning based on? It is based on opposing dharmas within the self nature.
若恶用即众生用，善用即佛用，用由何等？由自性有对法。
Okay, this is beautiful how the Chinese
美的
do it.
中国人所讲的，
Pay attention. This is so Chinese. Okay, we need to learn from these Chinese. I need to learn with these Chinese. He says, Evil functioning is that of a living being, while good functioning is that of a Buddha. Comments. What does it mean to you? Did I tell you this morning I experienced some deviancy from my master? He made me drop his Pure Land cassette tapes 4 times. That's pretty deviant. Never mind. But we're back talking 6-page chart here. We spare about the master for a while. Evil functioning is that living being. What is it telling you? If you're a living being, yes, orange.
You're not on the way, you're evil functioning.
You are doing evil. It's beautiful how the Chinese insult us. You know? And you know, when you read through this quickly, you don't even notice, right? But here actually they're calling us deviant. The communists are calling us deviant. So sad. See that? That's what he's saying. If you're a living being, you're functioning. The functioning of the self-nature of a living being is evil. It's very, very powerful statement. Questions, comments? Hey, don't get upset at me. This is from Master Huineng, Chinese. Huh? Yes, give her a microphone. The one yin person. Or I think.
I was thinking that's why living beings revolve around the wheel.
Why?
Yes, but that doesn't address the evil issue. Evil to me like IKEA. No? This is so Buddhist. Not just Master Huineng, not just the Chinese. The Buddhists are saying, the Buddha actually, comes from the Buddha. Buddha says, living beings are confused. That's why they create karmas, bad karmas. In particular, lots of bad karmas. Okay? And that's why, to the Buddha's eyes, he sees living beings are doing evil. Okay? And that's called evil functioning. Okay? Whereas a Buddha only has good functioning. What is a Buddha? What is he referring to? Enlightened people. Buddha here represents enlightenment. When you are in a state of enlightenment, you're doing good functioning. You're having good functioning. When you are not in an enlightened state, you're doing evil functioning. Questions, comments? So Master Chien Tong, when you're cooking, when you're cooking in the kitchen, are you doing evil functioning or doing good functioning? Black.
I'm doing good function, Master.
No hesitation. I'm doing good functioning. Amen. Are we glad? I mean, absolutely, yeah. All right. All right. So that's what I'm saying. When you are enlightened, then you're capable of good functioning. When you are in a state of a mindset of a living being, you're doing evil functioning. Like it or not. All right? So far so good? This is it. That's all he says. Take it whatever is worth. What is the functioning based on? Okay. Let's talk about functioning. It is based on opposing dharmas within the self-nature. It says this functioning, this use here, okay, is based on the duality that exists within the self-nature. The self-nature has everything, among which is the opposing dharmas, plus minuses, black, white, man, woman, yin, yang, warm, cold, and so forth, okay? Those are dual pairs that he's talking about. And he says that because of the existence of these dual pairs, these pairs of opposites, that's how the functioning arises. Don't try to understand, okay? Because you ask more, I mean, I can't understand. How is that? Next. See how quickly I escaped? Huh? Children, learn that. Don't allow them to ask questions when you know you can't answer. Sutra text. External insentient beings, things have 5 pairs of opposites. Heaven and earth, sun and moon, light and darkness, yin and yang, and water and fire.
外境无情无对，天与地对，日与月对，明与暗对，阴与阳对，水与火对，此是五对也。
Okay, very good. So he says things, okay, can classify as having opposites, 5 pairs of opposites. So he says opposite between heaven and earth, okay? So, for example, in China, they call the emperor, okay, as a son of heaven, okay, who sent down to earth to rule the earth. Okay, so you have this clear separation between heaven and earth. Okay, they're opposites. In fact, truth be told, heaven rules earth. The gods rule over us, like it or not. So, for example, not so much here in America until recently, until last week. Something happened that's quite often, it's quite well known in Asia cultures. What happened last week? Anyone remember? Anyone watches the news at all? There is a surfer, female surfer, Olympic surfer, who... Yes, Brady?
Color?
You lost it. Complete the sentence. Who? Pink.
The surfer that was she killed by lightning?
That's right. An Olympic surfer was practicing for practicing, and she was killed. She was in her 20s. She was killed by lightning. In Asia, it happens quite a bit. That heaven decides to strike you with lightning and kill you. So we know that in Asian cultures. You Asians agree or disagree? At least in my generation, we were aware of the fact that lightning strikes are an omen that it's a very strong message from the heavens. Because God, Zeus, on those people. Okay? They strike a lightning. They can use lightning to strike human beings because they rule over us. Okay, so it's not surprising, for example, that the Christian God who lives in the heavens, okay, is actually managing us, a group of us, okay, billions of people, billion Catholics. He's ruling over those Catholics. I can't see the typical. Yeah, okay? Yeah. All right. So heaven and earth. Okay? That's opposite. Sun and moon. Okay? Light and darkness. Okay? Sun and moon. Okay? And the bright stars, the biggest, brightest star. Okay? And the nearer star, close to us. Light and darkness. Okay? And yin and yang, water and ice. So far, so good? So the Master, elaborates on these pairs of opposites. Okay? You don't need to memorize them. I'm lazy. I don't like to memorize. Okay? So just understand the general concept. Okay? So things are characterized by opposites. That's all. Yin and yang. Light and dark. That's all. So far, so good? Next. 32. In speaking of the marks of dharmas, one should delineate 12 opposites: speech and dharmas, existence and non-existence, form and formlessness, the marked and the unmarked.
法相语言12对，语与法对，有与无对，有色与无色对，有相与無相對。
Okay, 33. Commentary.
33页。
He says, when you speak, you talk. They like this. They speak of the marks of dharma. See, when you speak about things, okay? When you speak, you mention things. Ju Mountain has a question.
Jumi asks, when I talk to people at my job as a therapist, it is very common for people to have a mental scar from being discriminated against other siblings by parents. I feel I have my limitation to help them because I have a mental scar just like them. How can I overcome this problem?
You better check with a therapist. Miss Therapist, you care to make a comment? Green. It just happened that we have a therapist here with us. Applause, applause.
So this is
clowning around too much. Yes.
It's a common phenomenon when you're a therapist that if you have an unhealed area part of your life, you draw it from your patients. I mean, you're going to end up with patients who bring that to you because it's not resolved inside of you yet. Right? You know? And like attracts like.
Right. The Catholic is here. Just in time. Hallelujah. Okay, so how do you fix it? The question, what can she do?
Well, now that she's aware of it, she should be working on that issue herself so that she can help people who come to her in the future with that problem. That's not a rare problem. That's something that's going to come up again and again.
You mean you have it too?
Yes.
Can we get personal?
No, I have people that come to me with that problem. That's a pretty common one.
这是
Okay.
比较常见的问题。
Anyone else?
有人呢有没有因为这个
Non-professional
问题来找我的？有没有
Okay.
别人？
I'll give you my non-professional 2 cents worth.
我给你呢我不专业的这个看法，
There are 2 issues here.
有2个问题
The。training she's receiving as a therapist
他作为心理
will
医
help
生
her
的
the
这个训练
techniques that you learn in school
在学校学
on
的
how
这
to
个技
help
能
people with those
可以
issues.
帮助你
That's
解
one.
决别人的问题。
Isn't that right, Daniel? You know,
对，
you
对，
learn.
对，
That's why you go to school. You give you a
你去
degree
学
because
校
they
学习，
certify that
他们
you
给你
learn
证书是
and,
因
and
为
you
证
you
明
know
你
about these skills.
学了，
So
你有
that's
这些能
why
力，
you are certified to be able to help
所以他
people
们证明你
with
可以
those
帮
types
助
of
别人
issues.。
他们有那
Supposedly.
些问题的时
Okay,
候，你可以帮
theoretically.
到他们。
Okay, so
理
you
论上来
know
说
the techniques and the theory behind it.
所以呢，你知道原理
So that's one
和
thing.
背后的
That's
这
why you
个
can make your living and you do
和
your
那
thing.
个
You
技
help
能。
people,
所以
and
呢，你可以
definitely,
赚钱
if
养
you're
家糊
certified
口
that you can help people,
所以
I
如果
believe
有
so.
证明
You can
说
help people. That's for sure.
可以帮助
Okay.
别人，我相信你有能力帮助别人。
The second issue. So the first
第二个问题，
issue is
这是
not
第一个问题。
is not a problem. So if you
第一个
go to
问题
school,
呢，
you get
不是问题。
certified to get a
如果你
degree
去学
and
校
you get
得到
certification to
证
do
明，
so and so,
你拿
then
到
you
证
qualify
书或
to
者拿到
help
毕业证，
others
那你就
in
有
your
合
field
格，可以
of
在你的
counseling.
在你的专业范围之
The
内可以
second
帮
part
到
is
别
about
人。
herself.
第二点呢
Okay.
是讲自己，
Then she can use the same tools on herself.
他同样的这个工具也可以用在自己
No,
身上，
I'm
不是吗？我
Okay.
开玩笑
And
的，
that's what Mary Jo said.
这
Basically,
是 Mary Jo 所说的。
to echo her, your patients, when you see your patients, they actually are the mirror. They will mirror your psychological scars. So it's a fantastic thing. So
那么
that when
在
you see
心
these
理上呢
people
有一个
and
创伤，
their
你遇到这
problems
些人，
actually
他们的问
bring
题
out
啊，
problems from yourself.
把我们自己的问题也
Okay,
带出
so
来。
it's not so much you need to fix them. It's the number one you need to be
所以呢，
aware
不是说
of,
你要
and number two,
去帮助
if you're aware of, eventually you
他们，
find a way to
那
resolve
你
it.
要发
There's
现
no one
自己有问
solution.
题啊，
You have
那
so many ways to
你
fix it.
你
Okay,
就可以找方法
and
呢去解决
Chan
它。
meditation is one.
禅修呢，就是一个
Okay.
解决的方法。
Why so?
为什么
You're suffering
你在受苦？
because of your
因为啊
attachments.
你的
Psychological scars are no more than old attachment, very
过去
strong
的执着
attachments.
这个心理上的创伤，不过是一
And
个
Chan
过去的
meditation,
过去的执着很
as
强的一
you
个执着。
improve in Chan
所以禅
meditation,
修啊，
your
当你
level
在禅修
increases.
进步
Okay,
当你的禅
you
修
it
提
makes it
高
a
的时
lot
候，
easier for you to release those attachments.
这
If you
些
stay pat,
这些执
your
着很
attachment
容易
will,
放
will
下。
stay, will remain
如果
strong,
呢，
overwhelming for you.
你人
So
就
for
是
you,
如果你
if you wish
人就是
to
在同一
deal
个程度
with your
上，
psychological
那
problems, not just
你的执
psychological
着啊也
problems,
是一直在那
any
里。
problems,
所以你如果想要
like
对付自己心理
your
上的
wife,
问题，或者呢
and,
说任何的问题，
your
比方
husband,
说你的太太
okay?
你的
Okay,
先
your
生、
spouse, okay?
你的配偶，
If you want to fix that problem,
如果你
improve,
想要解决
then
这个
you,
问题
you
啊
look at the problem
你就要进
differently.
步。你进步了以后，你看问题
So it's
就
kind
会
of
不
a
一
cool
样。
thing.
所以很
Chan
酷。
meditation will help, definitely will help
禅修
resolve
啊，
these
一定会帮我
psychological
们解决
scars.
这个
Okay,
心
I
理
have
上的创
scars
伤。
too
我有很多
myself.
的是创伤，
Do I?
有吗？
Okay. Can I tell you one?
可不可以告诉你们一件事情？
You said yes too fast. Now I
你
don't
说
I don't want
你
to tell
说
you
想要
anymore.
说的太快，我现在不想告诉你们了。
You nosy people.
你们这些好管闲事的人，
Even Qin Xiang都
清香都
She's
是
wide
很
awake,
想知道
you know.
他都醒过来了。
I love my mom.
我很爱我的妈妈，
I don't know about you,
不
but
知道你
mom is
们
very dear in my heart.
但是妈妈呢是我很亲爱的人，是我心里很亲的一个人。
And just also,
你们应该说呢
you're so bad. You're too Asian.
太亚洲了。
Good Lord.
天哪！
So, when years ago, several years ago, when my mom and I got into a very big fight, it really hurt.
真的很受
Took 3 years
伤害。
to recover.
花了
3 years.
3年时间恢复。
It hurts. Okay? Physically, it hurts.
这个
At night,
晚上啊，
you
身上
meditate
真的痛，
and you
晚
say,
上
"Oh
打
my
坐
God,，
你
it's
说
so
哦
painful."
天哪，很痛。
So every night,
所以每天晚上，
every single night.
每天
3
晚
years.
上我都
And
会
why
痛。
happened
3
after
年，
3 years?
为什么3年呢？
What happened?
发生了
I'm
什
not
么
going to tell you.
我才不告诉
I
你
don't
呢！
trust you.
我不相信你
You're going to tell my mom.
你要告诉我妈妈。
Moving on. You see
好，
that?
我们讲下一
Everyone
步。
has psychological scars.
每个
She's
人都
not the
会有
only
心
one.
理上的
Anyone else
创
would
伤
like to share your
不单单
secret?
他有没有别人要分享你的秘密？
It's not fair. Why?
不公平。
Why do I have to go first and then you guys
为什么我
chicken
要
out?
先讲？你们都是作弊，你们都是赖皮，你们不讲。
Aha, 金香.
清香讲。
Black blue.
Mô Phật thầy, cái này thầy đừng có buồn, cái này cũng là nghiệp chướng như nhau thôi, đừng có buồn.
I'm no longer triste. I'm no longer sad. I
我
got
不
rid
再
of
伤心了。
her.
我已经摆脱掉
So the
了。
point here is that I'm trying to tell Jumi
我
in
想告
South
诉
Korea
修米在南
is
韩，
that my personal experience has
我个
been
人的
that
经历是如
that
此。
that I was divorced too. It hurt
我
too,
离婚，
but never that
离
bad,
婚也很受伤，
never that
但
long.
是没有那么久。
So, but meditation does
但是
wonders
打
because
坐
what
真
happened
的
is
是
that
妙用。
my personal experience with my mom is similar
我个
to
人的
her
经历
experience with her
是
patients. The patient
我
or
跟我妈
her
妈的
patient
经
or
历
my
和她
mom
跟她
remind
病
me,
人的这个
bring
经
out
历，她的
my
病人啊，
deep attachments.
把我心中她
So
的
it's
病人和我
fantastic.
的妈妈，
So
把
you
我
look
心
at
中
that
很
as an
深很深的
opportunity
执着带
to
出来
spot。your attachments,
所以啊，这是个好
and
机
then you
会，
meditate
可以
on
发
that.
现你
You
的
get rid
执
of
着
them，
然后
eventually.
呢，你打
That's my
坐
experience.
把这个执着呢
Okay?
就拔掉。
So there's hope for you.
这是我的经历，所以呢，还是有希望的。
I find that the reason that meditation helps is because when it hurts so much, you ask yourself every day, you say, why do I let this happen
你
to
每
me?
天就问自己，为什么我让这
You know?
件事情发生在我的身上
And？then one day you decided, no,
忽然
I'm
有
too
一
busy.
天我就决定
I
了，
cannot afford to have
我已
this
经
anymore.
很忙了，我不要
Get
了，
rid of her. Period. So move
不
on.
管了，所以我就放下了。
Yes. Green.
Yeah, I grew up with a pretty rageful father, and that pretty much kind of.
Now we're into this. Now we're gonna be stuck here.
好，我们
But this
开
is
始要
interesting
讲
because
这是很有意思
I
的。
left my family to sort of separate myself from that
我离
problem.
开家里，所
But
以呢，我就把
you
自己从
can't,
这个问题
even
上
if you're
面
physically separated
离开
from it,
去。
it's still inside of you.
虽然呢，
And
你
so-
在
Carry
身
it with
体
you.
上
It's just a scar. That's why they
我
call scar.
虽然
It's
在
still
身
there.
体
And
上呢，
so
我没
I
有跟他
started
们
my
接触，
career,
但
and
是
I
心
started
理上呢，
noticing
还
that
是
every
带着
time
这
I
个问
went to a
题。
different
我开
company,
始
my
工
boss
作，
was a rageful boss.
然后我开始工作
You see
了
his，father everywhere.
然后我每
And
去
it
一个
took
公司呢，
me-
我的老板都是
I have
很
had
凶。
probably 4 or 5 different jobs,
我有了
and
4、5个不同的
every
工作，
job was a
每个工作
slightly less intense version of my father.
我那个老
Until
板
now,
呢
I've reached
是
a
一
kind
个
of equanimity that I haven't reached so far, and
是一
and
个
definitely
就
because
是
of Chan's help. But
比我
it's
爸
taken
爸
my
好
whole
一
life
点
to
的
try
这
to
个
get
这
through
样
this.
一个老板，这个老板他凶，但是他程度上面会
It's a
轻
lot
一点。
more often, happens a lot more often than you think.
这个呢
Okay?
是在你
Because
身
our
上经常
parents,
发生，因为我
as
的父
the
母
professionals tell us,
那个
they cause a
专业
lot of
人
problems
士
because
专业
they're
人士说
doing
呢，
evil
我们的
functioning.
父母呢会造成很多的问题给我们，因为呢他们
Can we
有
be
恶
real?
用 我们可以说实话
You say, I love my children, I love my my siblings.
我爱我的兄弟姐
Still
妹
evil functioning.
还是恶用
We scar the people we love.
我们爱的人啊，我们就伤害他们。
That applies to the spy number 1.
这个间谍也算。
You provoke her, she's going to comment on you.
她
Okay,
要讲
purple.
话了。
This woman is fearless.
她是无畏啊。
Mô Phật và Thầy, mình từ nhỏ đến tới lớn thì mình ở trong cái bóng tối thôi. Khổ sở tới như vậy đó. Ở bóng tối mình đâu, ở trong cái bóng tối mình đâu có thấy đường đâu, có mò không à. Càng mò thì nó càng khổ. Tới mình mà biết Phật pháp rồi đó thì mình từ từ nó ra một cái ánh sáng. Thầy mới cho mình thấy được là cái nào phải, cái nào quấy, là cái đó là cái rõ ràng nhất. Rồi mình từ nhỏ tới lớn đó là mình núp ở trong cái bóng tối thôi. Bởi vì cái chuyện gì mình cũng làm được hết á. Rồi mình miễn mà ở trong cái bóng sáng đó thì mình mặt trời nó chói vô thì mình đâu có thấy những cái bóng tối là cái gì đâu, phải không? Mô Phật, con có ý kiến như vậy Mô Phật?
Master, since I was little up until I grow up, I live in darkness. I don't see anything, so like basically I would just walk in darkness until I know about Buddhism. That's when I see light. I know what is right, what is wrong, and then the Buddhism is like the sun that shines over all of the darkness. So that's what I experienced.
Okay, very good. And one more comment to South Korea. Is that I think this lady here may have some excessive expectations of her jobs. I think in terms of therapists and counselors, you know you can't really fix the problem. It's not your job to fix the problems. Honestly, your job is to make sure they improve incrementally. Yes, because you can't fix the problem. There you go. Now we're opening a new can of worms. Green.
It's funny because in school you learn all the techniques and all the strategies and the right thing to say and the right research to quote, and then you realize it's not about that at all. It's about the relationship you build with them. Just being there, being a presence with them and listening is the healing part. You don't have to come up with the brilliant strategies. No.
Yes, Catholic.
Color, please.
They specialize in counseling, you know that. They all have degrees in psychology. They know everything about us.
So in my job that I do, the first thing they tell us is that you cannot fix the problems for the clients. They have their own way to fix their own problems. We're just there to guide them and provide services as much as we can. For example, if they don't want to get clean for drugs, we just provide, here's the number. If you ever want to get yourself clean, you call this number. Or call me and I'll help you. But we don't force them. We cannot do anything for them.
I see. So the number is a suicide number. You want to kill yourself? Call this number.
Yeah, that's what we do.
See, the Catholics do that.
If they do really want to kill themselves, we call the police and they take them to PT, whatever. They put them in a hole that they really want to have a plan.
Gotcha. You didn't catch it? You're about to pass out a suicide number.
你要把那个自杀的这个号码发放出去。
Okay, enough horsing around.
好，玩够了。
Okay, Orange.
Thank you, Master. Having had some experience with therapists and with psychiatrists.
Receiving end, you mean?
Yes.
Having been on the receiving end. Yes. Okay.
Having been the mirror.
Now we hear her from perspective of the victims.
我们现在呢，从这个受害者的角度呢，来听一听。
Something that was critical to the healing process for a scar is being willing to confront the pain. And that's something that Chan has taught me more than anything else in my life. Because it hurts like hell when you first start. And the natural impulse I had was, ow, stop, and don't do it anymore. But in order to actually help yourself, you have to learn to accept the pain as a good thing. And, not as a criticism or a critique of the therapist that I worked with, but that was never presented as a tool. When you're dealing with scars that your parents provided you with through their love, it hurts to confront that. And more often than not, my experience was, well, why do I want to deal with that pain? I'll just bury it deep, deep inside. Maybe it's at the bottom of this glass. I don't know, but I can find out. Maybe it's at the bottom of this bag of French fries. I don't know, but I can find out. Maybe that wasn't the right bag of French fries. Maybe there's another bag of French fries that has the answer in it. I could go on. But really what Chan has taught me is you have to be willing to be present with the pain of these scars to have any change on yourself.
Okay, therapists, defend yourselves.
好，心理医生请。
Green.
He's right.
He's right?
He's
That's
right.
all?
No, he's
so
right.
we pay you how much? $85 an hour? What?
What I would say about that is that a lot of people come to therapy thinking because they're not thinking about their problem, or it happened 25, 30 years ago. It's gone. It's out there somewhere. And I always tell them, no, it's still inside you. It doesn't magically disappear into the ethers. Your body's holding it. So you have to feel it in order to heal it. There's no way around that.
你要感受这个伤痛，你才可以痊愈，没有其他的方法。天主教徒。
I want to catch this guy.
我要抓到他。
Yes. What do you have to say for your profession?
I agree with both of them. So.
我同意。
You agree too?
Yeah.
他们两个所讲的我都同意。
Very good. YouTube comment.
往上。
Su Tran says, no matter who hurts or harms, learn to forgive them from within, because if they knew they hurt themselves, then they would not do as they did. Find a kind way to resolve in time for all.
What's her name again?
Her name was Su Tran.
Is it what ethnicity is this?
他是哪个种族？
Because the Canadian has their own accent, so I need to verify. I'm kidding. Okay, very good. Caution, all of you. Be careful now. This lady here just brought up healing by what? The intellect.
他说要用智力的方法来。
What do we call that?
我们叫什么
Fooling yourself.
这个叫
Be careful.
你这个是自欺欺人。
Okay.
要当心。
You can only heal by letting go of the attachment. You cannot heal by saying no, it doesn't hurt.
放下执着才可以痊愈。
Or
不能说
it only hurts when.
不通。不能说的。
Okay, you not getting rid of the root cause of the problem.
只有什么时候才痛。
The attachment is the cause of the hurt, of the pain. You have to let go.
你必须要放下
I told you already.
根部
You
的
can bring
问题。
my mother in front of me
你可
right
以
now.
把
It's
我妈
like
妈
a
现在带
stranger.
到我面前来，好像是个陌生人一样。
See? At least I like to think intellectually.
我想呢，要这样子想。
You too, yes.
Emily says the best way is to face it head on. Just like quitting a bad habit, one
就
needs
好
to
像
do
放
it
下
cold
一个
turkey.
不好的习惯，你就要放下。
If you want to drop the attachment, you have to see what the attachment. You
放
need
下
to
执
see
着，
the
你先要
attachment.
看执着
That's
是
what
什
facing
么。
it means.
面对呢，就是要你要看到什
Okay?
么执着。
When you meditate, you do
当
chant
你打
and you
坐
face
禅
the
修
leg
的时
pains,
候，你面对腿
but
痛，
keeping looking at the pain,
你一直
it
看
has
这
the
个
effect
痛，
of helping you let go.
可以帮你放下
That's the
的。
secret in chant.
这是禅的秘密。
This is why there's no substitute for facing your pain.
所以要面对你的痛啊，
There's no
是
substitute.
没有替代的。
That's what I love about the Chinese chant.
所
The
以我
secret
喜欢
right there,
中国禅
my
的
master
这个
brought
秘
to
密。
this country, Master Sheng
中
brought to
华
this country,
上人呢带到这个国家来的，
and it's shocking to me
很
that
吃
his
惊啊！
disciple
他的弟
decided
子
not to use it.
决定
This
不
is the
用。
secret of chant, is that
这是
you
禅的秘
cannot
密。
let go
你不能
until
放下，
you face it,
只有你面对了才
until
能
you
放下。
face the deep pain in there.
你要面对这个深深的痛，才能放下。
Okay? You cannot just tell yourself, no, it doesn't hurt, or it hurts because so and so and so. So if I move south and it won't hurt as much, and and so forth. I substitute it with something else. All you're doing is putting what in Buddhism we call putting a rock on top of the grass. It stops growing for a while while the rock is on top of the grass, but as soon as you move the rock, the grass grows again.
那石头一拿
You're
掉
not
呢，
getting
草
rid
又
of the
长
root
了。
cause of the problem.
你没有把那个问题的根部啊，
Okay.
根源解决掉。
So that's what I mean by intellectual healing. You know, you
所以啊，
you look at you use the rock
你用
as
个
an
石头，
intellectual
你用
tool
石头作为一个智力生活的
to
工具，
appease yourself temporarily. But
暂时呢让你
the
自己
root
好
cause
过
is
一
still
点，
there.
但是根本的问题还在那里。
And only chant is the Buddhist technique for identifying the root cause of the problem and then teach you how to get rid of
可以
it.
教你啊，怎么样发现自己根
That's
源
the only way
问
to
题
fix the problem.
然后呢，再教你
You
怎
want
么样
to
解
get
决
rid
这
of
个
the
问
grass,
题
you。have to uproot the grass.
如果你想要
You can't keep on
除草
cutting it.
你
That's
不
not going to
能
work.
不能一直砍它，你其实呢要把它连根拔起。
All right? Okay. Are we okay?
我们
Okay.
可以了吗？
How do you get into therapy and all these things? Evil functions. Okay. So again,
The video is out again.
when I read this sutra a long time ago and a few years ago again to prepare the slides for the lecture, I went to this section here and I never really paid attention to the pairs and that kind of thing. This is the delineation to me is not that useful. It's just my personal approach. Okay, this is good for scholarly. You say, okay, now I'm going to express, I'm going to describe to you, analyze to you, this whole gizmo of things between insentient things, material things versus your speaking and so forth. But it's okay. It's beautiful. Because that's only because my level is low. It's so beautiful to see how the great master expertly classifies them into 36 pairs. It's ingenious. Okay? To have that kind of wisdom to be able to thoroughly analyze everything is fantastic. That's why his wisdom is incredible. Okay, so just because I gloss over it doesn't mean I don't admire it. It's just that not very useful. Okay. Finally, the comment to the South Korean person. So, is that when you work with someone, whether it's counseling someone or whether I'm teaching someone, okay, I have the same issue as you folks do. Okay, there's no way to get you enlightened immediately. So all we can do is help you feel better through improvements. Or you recite Buddha's name, you feel closer to going to the Pure Land.
或者呢，你念佛，你就觉得呢，自己去净土呢，就更
That's what
进
you
一
do. That's
步。
all we can do.
我们能做的只有这些，
Gradual, incremental improvements.
一点
Yes,
点的进步。
back there.
好了。
Well, to me, it's like a Buddhist trying to convert a Catholic by saying you have to be Buddhist, but instead of saying, instead of I'm observing the information, saying, okay, this is interesting. I'm still going to be Catholic, but this is interesting, so I can apply to something to my life. But I feel the same thing. You give information to the person, and he decides what to do with that information.
你就给他这个信息，他来让他来决定他要怎么样做。你当然你是可以马上进步的，但是重点是呢，
this lady from Korea feels that she must help. I'm trying to tell her that you can't always help.
我想要跟他说，你并不是一直
In
都
my
帮
personal
得到人。
experience, I can't always teach
以我个人的经验，我并不是一
That's
直
why
都
I'm
能
here
教
every
你
weekend looking at you
所以
saying,
呢，每个
what's
周
taking
末
you
我
so
都在
long?
这里看着你们，怎么花了你们你们怎么为什么你们要那么多的时间？
34,
下一
Sutra
页
text.
34页。
The presence of outflows and a lack of outflows form an emptiness, motion, stillness, clarity, and turbidity, the common and sagely.
有漏与无漏对，色与空对，动与静对，清与浊对，凡与顺对，顺对。
Okay, so he continues. Venerable Master continues on the commentary on number 35. There is outflows or lack of outflows. Okay? In Buddhism, this is a concept. The Buddhists have a concept of outflows, which is very, very interesting.
有这个漏这个概念很有意思的。
What is an outflow?
什么是漏？
Don't let the Catholic answer. They're gonna, it's so close. And I said, he's a Catholic. No. Okay, orange. Complaining is an outflow. Nagging, you mean? That too. Anyone else?
有没有别人？
What's outflow? Pink.
Eating.
Eating is an outflow. Really? You ingesting calories as an outflow? Wait. That's too much. You agree that eating is an outflow?
你同意吗？吃饭是漏。
Attachment is an outflow?
执着是
To me,
漏吗
attachment means wealth.
执着
I'm very
是有
attached
钱。
to money.
我对钱很执着，
That's why I'm wealthy.
所以我有
How is
钱。
it an outflow?
为什么是漏呢？
It's funny how Buddhists, a lot of people learn Buddhism and learn about Avatamsaka Sutra and all those sutras and fancy Buddhist concepts. And when I ask them, what is an outflow?
问问题，有人问问题，问他们什么是漏，又不知道。
Anyone? What's an outflow?
好，有没有人知道什么是
Green.
漏？
Being around a toxic person too long.
和一个
Being
有
around
毒
what?
的人一起
A
太
toxic
时间
person.
太长。
A toxic person too long.
I don't know if that's really an outflow per se, but it sure feels like it. personally, when you're around someone, it disturbs you so bad, and all you think about is getting away from them. So I suppose your Buddha nature is just going out the window.
I can identify with that. I have a lot of toxic people in my environment. Yes, White.
A Di Đà Phật, thầy lậu là cái nghĩa là rơi rớt lại. Rơi rớt lại là sao? Tức là mình cứ luân hồi lên xuống trong cái sáu cõi này gọi là lậu. So với cái chân tâm mình nó không có cái gì như hổm thầy giảng cái bầu trời xanh, không có gì hết. Còn bây giờ mình khởi một ý nghĩ là nó có một cái năng lượng, nó tạo một cái quả báo thiện hay ác gì đó, là nó cột lại là lậu đó.
Okay. Translation.
Master, outflow is something like remaining that bind people in the wheel of reincarnation that you revolve in the sixth realm, versus to the true mind is similar to the sky that's very clear, doesn't have anything. So basically, when you think, and then the thoughts arise, and then all of the good and bad things happen. So that's outflow.
Okay. YouTube.
Diego says, I think eating more than you need is an outflow.
Eating more than you need is an outflow. I call it having a good time. Be real, man. YouTube, yes.
Sutran says greed is an outflow.
Grief is an outflow. Okay? Give me the color. Green.
Outflow feels to me that it's an outflowing of energy. And so it seems that you're losing energy through attachments, through your senses.
Okay, next. Raise your hand so that we can pass the mic to you. Orange.
Master, is it an outflow? Is the energy flowing out of your body when you not want it?
Going to where?
Flowing out when you don't want it.
When you go to lunch? When you don't want it. For example, having diarrhea. Okay. Anyone else? YouTube.
Relax Nation says, an outflow is attention to worldly things.
Attention to worldly things. What's wrong with that? My gosh. Man, live it up. I mean, the Louvre recently opened and made their whole collection available online. Can you imagine? Online. Now you can look at all the precious work of arts. Online. The whole collection. Online. Free. That's the best part. Free. I wouldn't call that an outflow. I would watch it all day. I feel very happy. YouTube.
Diego says, maybe an outflow is what drains your energy or attention, taking you to the outside instead of the inside.
Okay, people are nodding their heads right there. Yes, orange.
Becoming or expressing rage.
This guy is fixated on rage. Are you married? Just kidding. Yes, Catholic. I need some time. I spell it out so that you see the proclivity. Yes.
I think, I don't know, but I feel that outflow is anything that comes out of you, like it could be negative or positive energy.
你身上出来的能量，正面、负面都算是漏。
All right. YouTube.
往上。
Emily says outflows is the 3 poisons.
The 3 poisons. Okay, very good. Stop. Enough, okay? Now you're getting me confused. I can't process all of it. Q&A from Go Force, and that's the last one. It's so much I can process. Yes.
我呢只能处理这么多。
Thưa Master, outflow có phải là cái bản ngã của mình, thành ra mình thấy cái gì nó cũng không có vừa ý mình. Is that your ego? Is that something?
It sounds like a really frustrated housewife.
好像是一个非常不开心的家庭主妇。
Never mind. Okay. YouTube still has an answer.
网上还有回答。
There is more answers, but I don't know if Master wants to hear them.
I probably do. Now you bring it
up. Okay, so Tiango says outflow is eating meat, killing, or doing anything unvirtuous is an outflow.
What are virtuous things? This woman is unreal. All right, very good. Okay, this is a very fundamental and very important Buddhist concept. Chan concept in particular. If you cultivate, whether you do Chan meditation, or you recite the Buddha's name, or recite mantras, okay? Any form of spiritual meditation, yoga and so forth, we have some yogis as well. And externalist practices, you need to understand the outflow concept. Because the Buddhists totally understand it. And because the Chan school is a very concept in the Chan school, because you practice, have any form of practice at all, you need to understand what outflows are. If you don't, your practice will be haphazard. That's why I asked you. I asked you who understand what outflows is, okay? And based on your answers, I can tell that who can practice, have a sound spiritual practice versus who doesn't. That's why. And online people, you don't think that, do not think that I just waste time and go around to buy time and waste time. No, it's to tell you, for you to learn to recognize who has a proper understanding, the proper foundation. Because outflow is a foundation. The outflow concept of foundation of spiritual practice or of what else? Life. You go through life, you don't understand outflow, you have a problem. I'm one of them. Okay? Okay. So what's outflow here? Is beautiful concept. Outflow, as the word says, is a loss to the outside. It's beautiful. Low. The Chinese is low. Meaning what? Low. I think it means something. What does it mean? It's a leakage. It leaks out. It's not like when you boil spaghetti. Why I still go back to food? Good thing she's sleeping. Okay? When you boil spaghetti, okay? And you're done, what do? You dump it, right? Is that an outflow?
算不算是漏
？No, it's dumping.
不是漏，这只是丢下而已。
Outflow is
漏啊是
it leaks out.
是漏
A lot or little, but it's a
漏很
leakage.
多啊，或者漏一点点，但是有漏。
If you overflow, it's an outflow. Yes.
如果你
You boil it too much, it flows out. That's also an outflow. But outflow here is much more dangerous when it's a leakage.
就是如果它是在漏的。
So when you have outflow, that means it's undesirable
如果你有
to
外
you.
漏，这是你不想要的。
How come you worry about losing money?
为什么要担心自己会
Anyone?
亏钱？
Well, two of us. Okay? Losing love.
失去爱。
Anyone? Okay? No, not me. I don't know what that is. Supposedly.
不要看我，我不知道什么意思。
So you see, the outflow is a loss that is unbeneficial. That's harmful to you.
是对你有害的，一点益
In
处
the
都没有
Tan concept, an outflow is
外漏啊
harmful.
是有害的，
It's not good for you.
对你没好处。
So wouldn't you want to know what an outflow
所以
is?
你想不想知道什么是外漏呢？
When you practice Chan or in your daily life, what's an outflow? Yes? Because if you don't recognize your outflows, what happens to you?
因为你认不出你的外漏。
It's like anyone plays the stock market?
有没有人看做股票？
Only two. Okay.
只有
Of
2
us.
个。
I used to. Yeah.
我以前会看股票。
It's like you buy into the stock market and you see the stock price is going down like a Tesla right now. It's going down and down and down and down. And what happens?
然后呢？
When you see that, you worry, don't you?
所以你看到这个股
No, you
市
don't.
行情不好，你会担
You guys
心，
are
不
unreal.
是吗？不担心。
You should worry.
因为
What are you
真是
talking
不一
about?
样，与众不同。
Even Buffett
你
has to
不要担心
worry.
Buffett 都要
Yes,
担
orange.
心。
You need to consider your cost basis
你要考
before
虑
you
你的
worry.
支出，在你进
If
股
it
市
can go
之
down a little
前，
bit, that's
你
expected.
可以亏一
Jessica
点，
is
这
too
是正常的。
theoretical. I don't
他太
think he
理论化
plays the
了。
stock market at
我觉
all.
得他没有买过股
He's
票。
unreal. He
他
does?
说这是不实在的，真的吗？
Stop him.
Or
Stop him. It's not healthy.
不要让他讲了。
It's a Louis shirt.
The outflow would be investing in GameStop and being in vigilante investment. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, YouTube has a question. Okay, take a rest. Go back to Del Taco.
你回去吃Del Taco。
Relax Nation asks, can we recharge this outflow?
这个有外漏的
Can we
时候
what?
可不可以再重新充满
Recharge is
Can
outflow?
we recharge from the
Yeah,
outflows?
I'm coming to that.
我会讲到的。
So the point here is that outflow, when you hear outflow in the Buddhist concepts, particularly in Chan, is undesirable.
这个外漏在禅啊是我
It's a
们不要
loss.
的，是一个损失。
Okay? All right? And the loss here is detrimental to you.
这个损失啊，
Not
对你是
just any
非常
loss.
有害
It's not
的，
just loss of money,
不是掉
loss of
钱，
love,
不是
loss of a car,
掉
loss of a house,
不
loss
是
of a
掉
job.
车、掉
Okay?
工作、
We talk about outflow
掉太太。
in
我们讲
Chan,
的这个漏
in cultivation
在修
is
行当中，这个漏啊
detrimental.
都是非常有害的，
It's harmful to you. Totally unbeneficial.
一点用处都没有，对你只有害处。
So far, so good. So that's why the concept of outflow is very, very important.
所以外漏这个
In
概
life,
念很重要。
If
在生
you
命
let
当
your
中，
life
如果你让
run
你的
wild
生
with
命啊
outflows,
然
you're
后
in
充
big
满了外
trouble.
漏，你的问题就严重了，
So far, so good.
懂吗？
Typical example.
比如
A
说
person who's a drug addict
有人爱
has
吸毒，
but outflows. Agree or
他呢
disagree?
就只
That's it.
有
The guy is
只有外漏
helpless. He
就这样
he has outflows all day. That's all he does.
他每天早上啊都有漏，
He's not replenishing. He only has outflows.
他呢
Okay? He doesn't want to eat, doesn't want to drink, he only wants to take drugs. So, the answer to can you replenish? Of course you can replenish. Okay? But the point here is that as you replenish, why would you allow the leakages to continue? So if you know that you have outflows, then you plug the flow, the leakage points. Yes? So that's very important. Very fundamental concept. You want to become rich? Anyone? I'm the only one. Huh? You want to become rich? What's the first rule of becoming rich? Not. It's a not. Waste money. Yes? Because if you make a lot of money but you waste a lot of money, what's the big deal? You never become rich. The first thing we teach our children is not waste money. Not waste. Yes? Same thing. In practice, you try the Buddha's name, you build up all this energy in yourself, and then you have an outflow. What's an outflow? You get upset at your neighbor for chanting the Buddha's name too loud. So you build up all this chi here in you, and then you say, why you recite so loud? And boom, it goes out. That's it. You're done. You start over again. You see that? So that's why the concept of outflow is so important. Okay? Stop the leakages. If you recognize the leakages, stop it. Otherwise, you're getting nowhere. You're going nowhere. And this is a fallacy of the people who are not skilled in chant. In chant, we teach you avoid outflows. Cut the outflow. Cut off the outflows. Okay? That's one of the first things we do. Is learn to cut off your outflows, whatever it is. If we tell you it's an outflow, cut it off. Whereas the other schools, they're making money, but they're not paying attention to the leakages. The loss is in the stock market. Huh? You're buying stocks, but you're not paying attention to which stocks are decreasing in value. See that? So fundamentally, outflow is critical to life, whether secular life or spiritual life. So outflow to you people could be any kind of loss that you experience. Example, money. Huh? What else? That's all I can think of. I'm sorry. What else? Yes, Orange.
Power and freedom. You don't want to lose money, power, or freedom.
Power and freedom? I'm going to think of wife. Okay, what else? Children? What else? Jobs? Huh? You have so many things that when you lose, it's detrimental to you. House? Cars? Shoes? Your possessions? You let it lose. When you don't pay attention to it, it's not good for you. So far, so good? Okay. But all those are replaceable, aren't they? You can make more money. You can find another wife. Yes? You can get another job. No? Good boy. My man. That's why I tried to teach Joseph today. I said, he told me, Master, teach me something. I said, I can only talk about girls. He said, and so I clarified that I know nothing except about girls. So eventually I told her, you want to get along with girls? Lie to them. So you know what he did?
所以他
He
做了
says,
什么？
Mom, you're so beautiful, and he ran away.
他说呢，妈妈你好漂亮，然后他就跑掉了。
This kid has potential.
这个孩子有潜力。
So anyway, where were we? How did we get into girls again?
怎么讲到女生了呢？
So when you practice, okay,
所以当你
all
修行的
these
时候
spiritual, these material things, you lose
这些
them,
物
you
质
can
上的
replace
东
them.
西，如果你失去
Okay,
掉了呢，
but
你又
in
可以，
spiritually,
你又可以
there are
呢
certain
联系起
losses
来。
that
但是
are
呢，
very hard to
在
replace, or
这个
sometimes
修
are
行上呢，有
irreplaceable.
些在精
So
神
far,
上
so
有些
good.
东西呢很难
First one,
补回来，甚
outflow
至
is
呢没有不能补回来。
unnecessary
那么
or
外露
and
呢
or
是没有必要的，
detrimental loss to you.
那个
Okay.
失去啊，
Number
对你
two,
来说是伤害
okay,
很大的。
that is this in particular in the spiritual
第二
practices.
点呢，在
This
修行的
outflow
时
here
候，
is actually will hinder your spiritual growth.
外露啊会影响你这个
That's why it's
你的修
very
行。
very undesirable.
所以呢，我
If
们要
you sacrifice your time instead of
如果
staying
你放
home
弃你的时
with the
间，
family, watching the
你不在
TV
家
and having a good time with your friends
家
and
人朋友
acquaintances,
看
and you come to the
电视
temple
同伴
and
看
you
电视，你到道
endure
场
the
来
leg pains
你在
and
忍
recite
这
the
个腿
Buddha's
痛
name
念
until
佛
you,
名，
you pass out.
念到呢
It's a
昏
lot of
过去为止
sacrifices, okay?
很多的这
For
个
what?
牺牲。那这牺牲
When you
是
come
为了
here,
什
we
么
tell
呢？
you
当你
it's
来
to
到场的
prepare
时候
you, pave a way
我
for
跟
you
你
to
说呢
improve.
是为了让你进步
Okay? Your wisdom, your strength,
是
your
为了让
skills.
你的能
Okay?
力呢
And
有
if you
增长。
don't pay attention to these outflows,
如果呢你不
basically
注意这
you're
些外
wasting your
露，
time.
你就是在浪费你的时间。
Yes? So we just gave you an example earlier that a lot of people in San Jose,
我们
for example,
给你
this group of San Jose like to recite the Buddha's name. So these
例
people
子
recite the Buddha's
那个
name
三
all
合
day
会的人
long.
啊，他们喜欢念佛，就所以你
Okay?
就成
Some
天念
even
佛。
recite the Great Compassion mantra,
有的人甚至念大悲咒，
a lot during the day, like
一天呢念好多的遍，
1,000 times.
1000遍之类的。
Okay? And they're not making progress because
但是他们没有进步，
they have a
为什么
huge temper.
因为脾气大。
See that? So you practice, you build up all these things, and
随着
you
你修行，你得到
flare
更多
up，and
然
burn
后
everything
呢
up.
一把火全烧光。
That's a horrible outflow.
这是一个很可怕
It's
的外
a
露，
waste of time.
浪费时
Think
间。
about it.
你们想一想。
Okay? So that's why fundamentally these people when they
所以呢，从
like
本
they
质上来
recite
说，
Buddha's name or practice
这些人
meditation
念
and don't
佛
pay attention to the
打
outflows,
坐的时
they're
候，
not
他们不
getting
注意
anywhere.
外露，
That's a problem.
他们哪里呢都到不了。
See, so that's a beautiful thing about Chan, and actually it's a beautiful thing about very practical aspect of life is
所以啊，
avoid
生活
outflows.
当中非常有用的这个方
So
法，
far, so good.
要防止外露。
In particular, point
明白
number
吗
3 about
特别
outflows
第
is
三点
that
这个外露是啊，
there's certain type of outflow
有
that
种外露啊，
are extremely, extremely dangerous.
非常非常的有害危险，
Okay? Especially in Chan.
特别是在禅修的时候。
In Chan, does anyone know what is the most dangerous outflow in Chan meditation?
禅修最严重的外露是什么？
It's not something we explain in the Chan classes
我
because,
们在禅修课不讲的，
this is 6 Baichak Sutra, so
这是
we
六祖坛经，所
raise
以
level
呢
a，
我们
little.
程
Yes,
度要
orange.
增高一点。
Master, I don't know, but I would
师
guess.
傅，我不知道，但是我
could it be
猜一
fear?
猜，
Fear?
是害怕。
I feel for you. Next. Boom! San Jose.
Anita for Master, I'm guessing as well.
师傅，我也在
Is
猜
it。like someone in samadhi, and then someone come and wake them up.
别人把他叫起来。
Not clear the answer. I'm not sure I get the answer.
我不是很懂这个回答。
Just like when we were explaining about the flower adornment sutra.
师父讲那个华严经。
I forgot the Buddha's name. He was sitting, and then the flower got stuck on his robe. Then he got out from his samadhi, so he was not adorned anymore.
Yes, in that general neighborhood, yes. Yes. Getting close. Anyone else? You too.
Diego says it's anger.
Anger. Absolutely. In the right neighborhood. What else? Who else? You too.
Tianguo says it's lust.
Lust. That too. Very good. How about orange?
Giving up.
放弃.
What?
Maybe giving up.
放弃.
Giving up? It could be, yes. Raise your hand. YouTube answer.
往上.
Emily says afflicting thoughts.
Afflicting thoughts. Very good. Orange.
Master, is the doubt and loss of faith.
Lots of faith. Very good. White.
Thầy là những cái cảm thọ của mình trong khi mình thiền đó, thì nó vào những cái cảm thọ, chẳng hạn mình thấy mình siêu tuyệt, thấy mình có thần thông, hoặc là mình thấy mình thành công, cái ngã mình lớn quá, thì sẽ bị thiên ma nó nhập vào, nó dẫn theo cái đó.
Okay, feelings. Yeah, go ahead, translation.
Master, I feel like that is the feeling when you meditate. For example, you have thoughts and then you feel that you are super, you have spiritual spiritual power, and then your ego grow bigger. That's when the demon came and caused trouble.
Okay, very good. Now, let me give you the answer. Okay? I'm going to simplify it for you. When you recite the sutra, when you recite a mantra, when you recite the Buddha's name, when you do the Hua Tou, when you meditate, what are you doing? What's happening is that you building up your qi. Doesn't matter what you do, but the qi is building up right here. It's packing and packing and packing and packing in your navel, in your dantian. So far so good, keeps on packing and packing and packing it. So far so good. That packing here will enable you to break through. Because it's like for you to go from this level to the next level, there's a barrier. Yes? Think of it as a barrier. So if the qi is strong enough, we'll break through this barrier. If it's not strong enough, we'll not break through the barrier. So far so good. Is it clear? I give you a fundamental model of meditation. You build up this qi here. You need to build it up. Okay? There are two ways to do meditation, and I only teach you one way. The other, it's a specialized training. I don't teach you. Okay? But you need to go through this. First form of training is you build up your qi. You're not willing to build up your qi, there's not much hope for it. You have to pack it. You have to recite Buddha's name. You have to walk in meditation. It doesn't matter whatever you do. You need to build it up. Because that qi here will break through the barriers. Okay, the flood barrier, so that you can move up. So far so good. It's the only way for you If you will receive training, that's a fundamental skill you need to have.
如果呢你接受
Whether you recite Buddha's name, same thing. You have to build up that qi. Doesn't matter. If you recite all day, if the qi doesn't build up, you have a problem.
你这个气不增强，那你就有麻烦了。
So you build up the qi so that
你增强那个气
it breaks through this barrier here, so that it floods this thing, so it rises.
那么把它冲走
So far, so good.
你的能力就提高了。
That's it. So anything that creates a leakage of the qi is not good for you, right? Because we're building it up, right? Is it clear? Very simple.
很简单的。
And after I explain this, do not think you understand about Chan. I give you a very simple model. It doesn't mean it's everything. Okay, there's a lot of ramifications, a lot of decision trees and everywhere. But if you look at everything, the whole gizmo, okay, it's only two ways. The way build up qi is what I call brute force or finesse. Finesse, brute force, anyone can do. Finesse is much more involved. Okay? It's not applicable to a lot of people. So, okay? Remember, there are always pairs. There's brute force here, build up the qi, or the finesse. They're opposites. You see that? Aren't you impressed? I'm illustrating that your pairs are opposites. And speaking Dharma to you, by the way.
有技巧，所以一切呢都是成对的。我呢就在跟你们讲法。
I need a little bit of encouragement.
我需要有一点鼓励。
Okay. So you need to build the qi, and then when you build that qi and you recite the Buddha's name for so long, and when you realize there's an outflow, you pay attention, right? You want to avoid the outflows, because if you keep on building it up, it will overflow. That's it. That's what you want naturally. Okay. So what stops it?
就是满出来，这个是你想要的，但是你不要漏。
Thoughts.
是什么
？Any kind of thought.
什么是漏？是念，任何的念。
A leakage.
任何的念都是一个漏。
Some brutal Chan is. You sit there.
所以禅啊，就是那么的严格。
And the thought arises.
你坐在那里念一起。
Oh my God. What are we gonna have for lunch?
中饭吃什么
？Smells good.
闻好好闻。
That's a leakage.
这就是个漏。
So that's why ultimately the skill you acquire in meditation or in reciting Buddha's name, reciting mantras on Saturday night, it's all the same.
星期六晚上
You spot those thoughts and you say, cut it out.
你把它砍掉。
That's stopping outflows.
这就是停止外漏。
And this can apply to everything in life.
生活当
You
中
want
的
to get
所有的事
rich?
情啊，
Yes.
都可以用这个方法。
Building qi, replace with building your wealth, building your
不是增强你的
stash
气
of，
你是增强你的
money.
钱。
An outflow would be
那漏呢
what?
就是
Spending it,
花钱，
being stolen,
或者呢偷有
right?
人偷
So
你
you
的
guard
钱，
against those things. That's all.
就是这样，
Same concept.
同样的道理，
So far, so good?
懂吗？
So that's why once you know how to do Chan,
一旦你知
you
道怎
become
么
an
样
excellent
做
stock
禅，
investment
你就很会
person
做股票，
because you watch for outflows.
因为呢，你就会找这个外漏。
Don't think that we can't survive out there. We
不
can
要觉
survive
得
very
我
well, but
们
we
在
prefer
世
not
间
to.
呢，我们不能存活，我们可以活得很好，我们只是不要去。
Okay? So that's why I want to stress to my people, in
所以我要强调
our training, by
我
example,
们的
if I
教会修
may,
行
I may advertise our program a little bit,
我可不可以
especially the Koreans here
我可
who
不
are
可以
still
来给我
awake.
们这里做广告？这个训练做广告，特别呢，韩国人那边他们现在还醒着。
The Koreans are very polite. Just look at that.
韩国人呢很有礼貌
The
的，
Koreans are very polite. in the U.S., we have a game of dart.
我们是
That when
会
people
扔那个飞镖，
bend over and sleep like that,
有人这样子睡觉的时候，我们就拿那个飞镖戳他。
What? I didn't say anything.
我什么都没说。
Okay, so who threw the dart? Huh? Koreans.
扔的飞镖，韩国人。
Okay, so where are we? Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's skip the rest of it. So outflows here is very important. In Chan meditation, the presence of outflows here is presence of thoughts. Lack of outflows is lack of thoughts.
有念。
You're in samadhi.
无漏呢，就是无念，你在定中。
So far, so good.
明白吗？
Form and emptiness. Okay. Form, something you can see, you can feel.
色是你可以看到、可以感受到的
Emptiness,
东西。
nothing there.
空什么都没有。
Right? Motion and stillness. This is what scares people.
这个会吓到
You
人。
want to scare people?
你想要吓到人，不要动。
People are used to movement.
这个人对
You don't move, they don't like it.
对这个动啊很习惯。你要是不动啊，
Deep down
他们
inside,
就会害
how
怕，
come he's no reaction?
就
Is
会
he
说：
dead?
哎，怎么他没
Does he
反
like
应
me?？
他不
Or
喜
does he
欢
like
我吗？他死了吗？
Okay?
还是他喜
So
欢
this
我？
motion and stillness here is very, very potent concept. Clarity and turbidity. Okay? Clarity of mind in particular. When you live your life, you want your mind to be clear.
当你在
When you recite sutras, you want your mind to be clear, so you only thinks of the sutras. Doesn't have extraneous thoughts. So far, so good. Turbid, the mind can't move. Like in my case, it's morning. You know, it can't move. And those cassettes kept on falling
卡
down.
带呢？今天早上这个卡带一直掉下来，
It's cruelty.
这简直是太残酷了。
The common and sagely, common or the ordinary, okay, meaning no wisdom.
反没有智慧，
You have no clues. Okay?
你不知道。
Sagely here refers to the ability
圣这里
to see what
是一个
what is
能力
considered sagely
什么是
in
圣？
the world,
在世上什么是圣？
in life. What's sagely?
在生命中什么是圣？
Let me give you the Buddhist definition of sagely. May I? In
佛教
Buddhism,
圣的定义，
you're sage when you are not what?
在佛教你是圣，是什么时候是圣 ？Not ordinary。
Kath. What is sagely in your world?
你什么样的人算是圣人？
Well, in my own opinion, that essentially, or holy is like the mass or the Eucharist, things like that. This would be holy.
圣是
So
教
they don't know
堂
about
之类
sagely.
的。
They don't think about sagely. Okay, they think of happiness only. For us, happiness is sagely.
他们只是要快乐。对我们来说，快乐
No,
就
it's only
是
for
圣。
Buddhists. You guys wouldn't be able to
请重
understand.
复一下，不懂
Happiness
只
is
是
sagely.
佛教徒才知道，佛教徒才有的东西。
Well, there's two
快
kinds
乐
of
是
happiness:
圣
the
有
happiness
两
from the
种
worldly
快乐
happiness and the，
世
happiness
间快
from
乐
Sagely happiness.
和
that comes
圣的
from something that
快
is
乐。
holy. Then, if it comes from holy,
从神圣的地方
the
来的，
holy, then it's something else. But that's happiness.
那个也
Okay.
是快乐。
Okay. Stay confused. It's okay. Yes, Green.
很迷惑，但是没关系。
I think sageliness is bringing happiness to others.
是把快乐带给别人。
Okay, anyone else? Can I give you the answer? It's okay, take a break.
好了，你休息一下。
Give him the microphone. You keep on abusing him. Why does he keep? How does he take it so well?
为什么一直欺负他？
I'd be so pissed off and stand up there. I'm out of here.
我会很生气。我说我要走了，我要去海边了。
Yes, sir.
So going back to the mass is sagely or is holy because it brings you happiness to living beings, to other angels, to other people in purgatory, to other people in the heavens, and to people on earth too. So that is sagely, that is holy. That's why we say holy.
Close.
Mass.
Close, but no cigars.
这个带给
Anyone else?
做主日啊，带给人家快乐，所以是神圣的。
Someone who is not afflicted.
Someone who's what?
Someone who is not afflicted.
Not afflicted.
不起烦恼的人。
Okay, getting close, getting warm.
靠近一点了。
Very good. Okay, let me tell you what sagely is. Sagely is not to be confused by appearances, by marks.
圣贤啊，是不被
That's why in Buddhism the concept of mark.
搞迷惑。
Okay, the mark is whatever you observe outside.
佛教有这个
Smiling face,
比方说
angry
笑脸、
face,
生气的脸、
loving face,
爱的
hateful
脸、
face,
恨的脸。
Lots of money,
好多的钱。
no money.
没钱。
Okay, all those are marks. Whatever you can
这
see.
些呢都是相。
Okay, those are marks. Whatever you can see, perceive, have marks. Okay, so what happens to ordinary people is that they're confused by marks.
他们见到相就迷惑了。
Okay, for example, they see a person with an angry face. They say, "You don't like
看到一
me.
个呢会
What
生
did I
气的
do?"
人，说呢他不喜欢我，我做了什么了
Right? Sounds familiar? What did I do? I was minding my business. All of a sudden, you look at
的
me.
事情，忽然呢他就看着
Okay.
我。
So we are confused by the anger.
别人的气啊，
Therefore,
就把我们给迷惑了，
We are not sagely.
所以不算是圣。
All right? What about a person who's not confused by anger at all?
那个
There's a difference between
有
that
人
and
呢
stupidity.
这个不会受到生气的影响。
Stupidity is that it doesn't
跟愚蠢人
recognize
是有一
anger.
个区别的。愚蠢
That's why it's not
人认不
affected
出
by
生
anger.
气，所以呢
The sage people
对这个生
recognize
气呢
anger, but it's not
没
affected
影
by
响
anger.
但是圣贤人啊，他可以认
Is
出
that
这
clear?
个生气，但是不受影响，清楚吗？
All right. So sagely.
所以啊，圣
So,
贤
so the common people are
常人啊，
confused by external things, by marks, by appearances. That's why they're ordinary people.
所以他们是普
Or
通
a
人，
cute baby or
可爱的
ugly
孩
baby.
子，难看的孩
Yes?
子，
Lots of money, no
好多的
money.
钱，
Why do you
没
keep on
钱。
coming back to money? Excuse me.
为什么总要讲钱呢？
Okay? And so forth. So you see, we are ordinary because we chase after
我
external
们普通
things.
人，因为我们
And the
的外
sagely
界的东
people,
西，
the people with
圣
wisdom,
贤的人，
they are not confused by
他们
money
不
or
会
lack of money,
为钱
love
没
or lack
钱
of love,
迷惑、
hate
爱
or
不爱
like. It doesn't matter to them.
恨、爱，
That's
对
called
他们来说没什么关
sagely
系。
wisdom.
所以对他们来说呢，是圣贤的智慧。
So far, so good?
明白吗？
Why is it important? Because if you're confused by external things,
因为如果外
then
界的东西
you
可以迷
are
惑到你，
condemned to external things.
那个外界的事情啊，
You're condemned to repeat it, to live it.
你就会要不断的，
In other words,
你就被迫不断的要
don't think this is just for chant.
不断的要
but
经历，
Reciting Buddha's name people,
不要以为
if
只是
they're
禅
confused by
如果念
externals,
佛的人，
what are their
外界
chances of going to the
可以
Pure Land?
影响到他们，他们
Not
去
very
净土的这个几率是多少？不是很高。
Does it make sense?
懂吗？
It's very important. And that's why when you teach reciting the Buddha's name, reciting mantras, whether you follow Tibetans or you follow Pure Land, with Taiwanese and Chinese, whatever, okay? You practice Chan or so forth, okay? One of the fundamental skills you need to acquire, okay, is not to be turned by states. Okay. That all of a sudden you're there and then someone comes at you and yells at you, you get angry, you turn by state. Someone comes to you and says, "Oh, Master, I'm so happy to see you." And you say, "Oh, yeah. Finally, someone recognizes me." Okay, you turn by states as well. See that? So, that's why these concepts are very fundamental. You need to learn to recognize why it's desirable and what it takes to be sagely versus being ordinary. So far, so good? Okay, next, 36. Do we have time, Master Xianjie? I'm out of time. I cannot see any clock. A few more minutes. 36, Sutra text. Membership in the Sangha, membership in the lady, old age and youth, largeness and smallness.
生与俗对，老与少对，大与小对，此是12对也。
They're too wordy. There's no need to say membership. Okay, you simply say Sanghan and lay person. There's no need to say membership. It's, this is Chan text, supposed to be punchy. His style is very punchy. If we translate it, you need to observe the spirit of punchiness. One knockout, one punch, and it's a knockout. There's no, there's no, all right? These people are not boxers, clearly. I'm true to myself. 37 is a commentary, okay? Old age and youth, okay? Largeness and smallness, okay? Next, 38. From the self-nature, 19 pairs of opposites arise. Length and shortness, deviance or orthodoxy, foolishness and wisdom.
自性其用19对，长与短对，邪与正对，痴与慧对。
Okay, so here they highlight this yellow thing here is because they didn't translate the yung, which is function or use. Okay, so pairs opposites in use, you can add in functionality arise right here. After opposites, add in functionality arise. That's all, if you want to be precise. Because it's important to be precise here, because the page chart is he's a genius in presenting the information, and this is kind of genius that is very difficult to understand. So that's important to preserve the exact wording as best possible. So you don't drop the word you. So that's my take on that. That's why I would use 19 pairs of opposites in functionality arise. There you go. Thank you. Okay? So far so good? Okay. So the great master continues with, he says, okay, I dissect more for you, opposites for you, short and long. Okay? Short monk versus tall monk. Deviance orthodoxy. Yeah. They're orthodox, we're deviant. Foolishness and wisdom. We're wisdom and they're foolish.
Next, 40 sutra text. Stupidity and intelligence, confusion and concentration, kindness and cruelty, morality and immorality, straightness and crookedness.
愚与智对，乱与定对，慈与独对，戒与非对，直与取对。
Okay, now this is interesting. Okay, in 41, he says the opposites. When you debate, when you analyze the opposites here, that is, you need to pay attention. Okay, stupid intelligence, right? Stupid is smart. That's clear. That's simple, right? Stupid can't get it. Smart can get it quickly. Stupid is that you can spend as long as all the time you want. It ain't going nowhere. But smart, they got it. Snap of a finger. So far so good. See the opposites. Confusion and concentration. Confusion is lack of concentration. How about that? If your children cannot concentrate, it's because they need to learn Chan. Questions, comments? Spy number 1.
Mô Phật bà thầy, nãy thầy nói đó, mấy ông Khánh với Tiên đó, nó còn có rượu chè gì không thầy?
Có gì?
Master, you say about the sagely people, do they still drink?
Do you drink?
Khánh Tiên mà còn có rượu chè không? Còn có uống rượu mấy ông Khánh đó.
The sagely people in the heaven, do they still drink wine?
That's a hard question. Can I answer by telling you a story? I went to Korea, in Seoul, or Korea, and Sunims, the monks here, are very, very kind and compassionate. And they treated us very, very well. And nuns too, by the way. And this guest, the monk here, in charge of the guests at the big monastery, invited us to a a vegetarian restaurant who is 1 star, 1 Michelin star. You remember that story? We went in there, everything is beautiful, and they gave us a special tea. Very good for the soul. I drank it. I never felt that good since I left the home life. So the answer is I don't know. But if I have to guess, yes? Master Xianjie, do you have a comment? Black.
Question. I just had a different question.
You have a different question?
Yes.
And let me answer this question first, and then you can ask your question. Okay. If I have to guess, okay? It's just a wild guess, and please do not tell others. Can we turn the camera off? What the heck? It's just theory, okay? It's not real. Okay. When you are confused, you're an ordinary, a common mortal, you need to observe the not drinking precept because it will cloud your head.
因为会让你的头脑不清晰。
So far, so good? It's not good for you. If you keep on getting your head clouded like that, you cannot get enlightened. You cannot open your wisdom. That's why when you are confused, when you're an ordinary person, avoid drinking.
避免不要喝酒。
In particular, drinking to the point where you get drunk and lose your clarity of mind. So far, so good.
脑子的清晰呢都给失掉了。
However,
明白吗？但是
I'd like to think
我觉得我要叫你想
you draw attention to this. I like to think that in the future, if you ever become enlightened and you go to one Michelin star vegetarian restaurant in Seoul, it may be possible to get drunk.
也许呢可以喝醉。
Because once you're enlightened, who cares anymore?
因为开悟了，谁管他呢？这个是
No more questions for a month.
1个月不准你问问题。
Yes, sir. She's trying to trap. I told you, it's spy number 1.
你说的是间谍
Their purpose is to prove that we are deviant.
他们要来证明我们是邪的。
Yes.
So my question was, you said you have to see your attachment before you can let it go. Often, though, if I'm not aware of what my attachment is, that makes me think more about it as I try to figure it out. It just makes me produce more thinking.
但我就想得更多，要去发现我的执着是什么。
But sometimes I try to figure out what is my attachment in a situation, and it only makes me think more about what it is. I try to figure out what is the attachment.
You think you're in trouble.
当你有想法的时候，你就有问题。
How do you deal with that? Stop thinking.
就不要想了。
How to see the attachment, I guess, if you don't see it.
你如果那你看不到你的执着怎么办？
In Chan meditation, in spiritual practices,
在你的灵
it's
性的
called
修行
contemplating,
上，
not
叫做
thinking.
观，不是叫做想。
You're confusing contemplation with
你把
thinking.
观和想都搞起
You have
来
a
了。
problem.
你有个问
Let's
题。
say, you have an affliction
你有烦恼
about your family,
你对你的家人有
about
烦恼
yourself,
你对自己有
whatever
烦恼
affliction it is.
不管这个
Okay?
烦恼是什么。
The typical person would sit there or
常
stand
人
there
坐在那
or
里，
walk
站在那里，
around
走来
thinking
走
about
去
it. Yes?
就会想
Let me
这个问
think,
题
let me think,
让
let
我
me
想，
think.
让我想，让我想，
Sounds familiar? Let me think about
是
it.
不是很熟悉呢？
Okay, spy number 1.
好，那个间谍，
I call them as who they are. I know all their evil intentions.
我知道他们邪恶的企图。
Yeah.
Mô Phật và Thầy, bây giờ nói cái suy nghĩ, rồi cái người mà nói qua đó rồi không nói ra rồi quên hết tất cả, là cái người đó là người lẳng để người không suy nghĩ. Thầy nói cái người đừng có suy nghĩ, là cái người đó bây giờ cũng có như vậy, nói rồi cái qua cái quên rồi, là cái người đó không suy nghĩ, hoặc là cái người đó nó lẫn. Hai cái mà không biết làm sao phân biệt.
Yeah, she says she's forgetful, so as soon as she says that she forgets.
他说
It's
他记性
Alzheimer's.
不
It's
好，
normal.
老年痴呆这是正常的。
Okay.
他
Let me
说
explain
他
to you.
一说了什么就忘记了，那我来跟你们解释一下。
You have this habit of thinking.
你有
Your
这个
family
习惯，
has a
你
habit
会
of
想，
thinking
你的家人有这个习惯会
because
想，
you build your world, you
因为你的
engineer
世
your
界，
world.
你的
Okay, you're proud of that,
你很
of
自
your
豪的，
education, your training, your
你的
logic.
训练，
So
你的
you
逻
think
辑，
things through
你会把一切的呢都
Which
想
is a
清
good thing
楚，这是件好事。
for worldly things.
对世间的事情来说呢，这是一
If
件
you
好
want
事
to have, we have a problem at work,
如果工
you
作
want to
上
work
有个
on,
问
you have to
题
think, no
你需要
problem.
想，没问题。
But meditation or
但是
spiritual
打
practice
坐
is
和
slightly
修
different.
行呢是有一些不同
Okay?
的。
When you have a problem in meditation, for example,
当
I
你打
told
坐
you
有
my
个问
early
题的时
example,
候，
okay? My mom,
比方说我
great is
有我
hurt
妈
in
妈的
me,
问
is
题，
so deep, so profound. Never realized it.
对我的这个伤害啊，那么的深，我都没有意识到。
So, for 3 years, did I sit there and every night think,
我坐在那，每天晚上都想，
What did I do?
到底发生什么了？我
Today?
做了什么了？我今天做了什么了？昨天做了什么了？
Last week?
上个星期做了什么了？
Last month?
上个月做了什么了？
Last year?
去年做了什么了？
10 years ago?
10年前做了什么了
20 years ago?
？20年前做了什么了
30 years ago?
？30年
Should I
前
keep
做了
going?
什么了？我还要继续吗？
When does it end?
哪里才是头呀？
It's endless.
没有底的，
You haven't noticed that?
你还没有意识到吗？
I'm describing to you what's happening, what's going on in your
我在
head.
跟你解释你脑子里面到底
So,
在想什么？
if you do thinking like
如果
that,
你这样子想，
contrary to worldly problems,
那
when you think
相对于
like that,
世界的
it's
这个
limited as to how much
这个
time you have, you can afford to
这
do
个
that,
在
right?
世
Because
间
your
啊
boss says, I need an answer tomorrow.
因为你
So
是有
by
一
tomorrow
个
you say,
限
okay,
制
this is
的。
what I got
老
for
板
you.
说明天我
Okay?
要这个答案，所以
For
明
you
天呢你就说
beggars
老
who
板是
really
这个
don't have a,
但是
you
你
know,
们这个乞丐啊，
pressure, you keep on sitting there and think
你
and think
没
day
有
after
压
day
力
after day，
你
after
坐
day
在那
after
里
day.
一直想一直想，
And
日
we'll
日
go
想日
nowhere.
日想，哪里都到不了。
For 3 years, what did I do?
但是
Every
3
night
年我在
I
做什么？
meditated
每天晚上我
and
打
the
坐，
pain came on.
那个痛啊就来了。
The pain, it hurts
这个是伤害到
to
了
the
这个
marrow.
痛，
It's not the heart.
伤到骨髓啊。
You hurt in your
不
heart.
是心，你的心
I
会
hurt to
痛。
my marrow.
我是痛到骨
So when
髓。
you have a heart problem, I can
所以
fix it because my hurt's at the
你心痛了
marrow level, not the
因为
heart
你
level.
心痛，我
Heart
可以
is too
帮
low.
你，可以帮你修，因为我的
You
痛在
understand?
骨髓。
If you face
你的
that pain to the
程度还
level
不
of the
到。
marrow, then you
如
say,
果你面
my
对
God,
痛
it
到骨
cannot
髓
go
的这种
get
痛，
any worse than this.
你会觉得哦
It hurts.
没有比这
First
个
it
更
hurts
糟
here,
了。首先呢是心
and then
痛，
it keeps going down, down, go deeper and
然
deeper
后呢
until you
它
say,
越来
"Whoa,
越深，
it's
越
my
来越
marrow
深。
now, it's hurting.
忽
The
然呢
hurt is in my marrow,
跑到我的
not
骨
my
髓
heart.
里面去，已经不是在心
What to
这
do?
里了，怎么办？
Do you think?
你想吗？
No. You
不
think
是，
it doesn't help.
你想也帮不了你。
So you sit there, I sat there for 3 years and
我
look
坐
at
在
the
那里
hurt
坐了3年，我就看那个痛，
every night.
每天晚上看，每天
Every
晚上都
single
痛，
night it hurts.
每天晚上都痛。
It's going nowhere. It hurts.
他这个痛我都不会走，每天晚上都痛。
My point here is that
我的重点是，
when you practice, when you meditate, you
当你
sign
修
Buddha's
行
name, you have this
打坐
affliction,
你
you
有
have this
佛的时
problem.
候，你有这
You
个烦恼，有这个
look at
问题
it. That's all
你
you
要
do.
看这个
You
问
don't
题，
think.
你不要想。
I look at my hurt,
我
my
看着我的
pain
痛，
for 3 years,
看了3
every
年
night.
每天晚上
Cannot wait until the light comes so that I can go do something and get
我
my
等
mind
不
away
及
from my
天
hurt.
亮，我可以去做一点别的，这样子
Every night
就
you
不
look
会
at the
这么
pain.
难，就不
That's
会
it.
这么痛。每天
It
晚
hurts.
上呢
It's
都在
there.
看这个痛，
You can't
每天
avoid
晚
it.
上都在那里。
When you buy it, you
不
with
可避
yourself,
免
you confront it
当你
with
在
yourself,
自己的时候，
you only see the pain
你
there.
只
That's
能
it.
看
There's
到自己
nothing
的
else.
痛，其他什么都没有。
And after doing that, after 3 years, all of a sudden,
3年以后啊，忽
I
然
said, it stopped.
那个痛就不痛了，
That's called contemplation.
这
You
叫做
don't
观。
think.
你不是要
So the
想。
difference is very important, folks. Allow me to clarify this point for you before we close today. This is very
今天结束
important
之
in
前，我要
spiritual
跟你讲，
practices.
在修
Okay?
行当中，这是很重要的。
Worldly people think. You
这些人
think
想。
of how to fix your problem.
你想着怎么样解决
We,
你的
when
问
we
题。
practice,
我
when
们
we have
修
a
行的
problem
时
in
候，
our
我们
practice,
有问题
we
的时候，
look at it, we
我们看着我们
contemplate
的
it,
问
we
题，
look at
我
it
们观，
only, we don't think.
我们
You
只
keep on
是
looking
看
at
着
it.，
我们只是
Oh,
看着
that's the
它，
hurt.
我们不想。
Oh, that's the
哦
pain.
那是痛。
It hurts right
哦
here.
那是痛。
The
哦，那
knee
是痛。
hurts in the
膝盖
hips.
痛，屁股
Oh,
痛。
oh. If you think, can you understand why it hurts? Of course you
可以
can't.
想到为什么痛，当然不懂。
You can think all you want. You cannot
可以不断的
understand.
想，也不能懂为什么会痛。
So that's why part of your Chan practice, part of spiritual practice is that we ask you to cross your legs and face the pain because you forced to look at the pain and there's nothing else you can do. That's called contemplating the pain and stop thinking.
就是让你去观那个痛啊，就不要再想。
The Chinese are geniuses.
中国人真是天才。
You have to give credit where credit is due. The Chinese are geniuses. They lost it.
他们现在失去了，现在我们有。
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
谢谢大家，下次见。